Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise, Most High Yahweh, acknowledgement to Earthly Mother. Who is wisdom? Who is Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. I pray the Most High bless this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Family, it was a awesome experience to be in the presence of the spirits there in Chichen Itza. And it just gave me more clarification and more just facts, and made the information the Most High has been giving me, like, it just made it more, it just hit home even more justification for the things that the Most High has been showing us. The whole world is against this truth. The whole world plays their parts in order to keep knowledge and understanding from the Most High's chosen people. You know, I'm sitting here looking at a lot of these people who call themselves Mayans. But one thing that I was constantly looking at and constantly seeing was white Jesus and white Mary. Now, supposedly, you're the people of this great civilization, and you are the ancient Mayans who are responsible for building these monuments, these structures that are just absolutely amazing. Not only like just in sheer size, but the like mathematical and scientific precision to the stars, to the moon, to the sun, to the equinoxes. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, that the things that were happening here in the Yucatan, going directly over to Egypt. If you're such a great people and you built these things, and you have your own country and you have autonomy, if you're an autonomous country and everything else, and you can make choices to not follow the gods of your oppressors, would you not do that? But see, I saw so many of them still with white Jesus, Cesare Borgia, Mary, and it's just like you just continue on with, the perceptions and the religious, dogma and doctrine of your oppressors. And it's just, I mean, these people are like, they're just destroyed in their own country. So you can tell, like, I mean, they're dirt poor. They don't have like any. They pretty much just do whatever they're told. It's like the oppression never stopped, and it's like they're not allowed to think for themselves. Now, it was just more proof that, I mean, I'm going to show you guys more information about the true Mayans and how they were the true Atlanteans and how they were described. And I'm going to do some videos off of some videos that I made, off the phone and things like that. So you'll be on the lookout for more videos of my time in Chichen Itza. I know that the live did not come out as well because of the connection and everything else, but I have other clips and things like that we're going to get into as well, to also compare to older books and things like that, and things that they had tried to hide about their original people. They're always everyone is trying to hide who the original people are. Many of the natives that are there today will tell you that they did not build these structures. But they'll say that on one side of their mouth, but then take credit as if they are the ancient people at the same time. Can't have it both ways. You can't say that you are the ones who built these structures, but then in other books and things like that, you admit that you were not, that these places were already here. And even like many of the murals, like what I noticed is that, like I said, everything was roped off. I have these books that show these murals, and you can see so-called black people in these murals. And before, people were allowed to go and walk up the stairs of these places. They were allowed to actually go into the Castillo, the pyramid, things like that. They were able to go onto these different platforms and see these reliefs and things like that, up close and personal. Now they make it so that you can't. But see, I think it was 2008 they stopped letting people get close because you know what? They know about the stars. Hello, they know about the alignments. They know all about these. The stars tell the story. They knew they were coming to the end of their run, so therefore they had to take, more drastic measures to keep us away from seeing the truth, from seeing our portraits in these murals, etched in stone in all these different areas. And something else was about the Chichen Itza area is like there's 20 to 30 buildings that they allow you to see. You can't even really go in and see them because they got them roped off. But they said there's hundreds of buildings over there that you cannot even see. You cannot even get to. So like I said, we're going to go into more in depth because like I said, those ley lines, are absolutely, enormous and with much power. And it's been, I can tell you like what I could tell a lot of people were uncomfortable with me being there. The fact there was so few of us Hebrews even there, us true Mayans that were even there. But you can tell that they were not comfortable. I got so many looks the entire time, pretty much like, why are you here? What are you doing here? How did you find out about this place? Shouldn't you be, going to a football game? Shouldn't you be at the playoffs? Shouldn't you be going to the NFL playoffs? Shouldn't you be hitting up some of those NBA games? We give you plenty of circus for you people. You should not be down here. But see, we're going after our ley lines. We're going after the lands that the Most High have given to us. We are going to put our feet down on the ground. We're going to ground. We are going to connect with our ancestors. They have been calling for us to come home, to connect with our people, connect with our ancestors. They've worked so hard to discontinue us from our heritage and push us over into Africa, to so-called Middle East, to everywhere. But you can see everyone plays their parts. Ish plays their part in the so-called Middle East as the supposed chosen people. You got people here that are, that are in Peru that they're part of the chosen Peruvians. You got these people here that are playing their part as the Mayans. You got other people playing their parts as Aztecs. But what you can see is that there's a consistency. And what I'm seeing is that many of these people over here, even though they say that they're the true Mayans, they're the true Peruvians, they're the Incas, many of them still worship Cesare Borgia and our Virgin Mary. They're all pretty much confederate with not telling us who the hell we are, the fact that we were already in these lands. And I'm going to show you a little something right now, because you're going to see that these people who have been telling us who we are, you're not from here, you're African American. Oh no, the Indians here, it was a white bearded god that they worshipped. They worshipped a white man because the white men were here originally. And the white man is the one that taught these natives everything about what they knew. Because they always want to, but then when we talk about so-called black people being the Israelites, oh, you guys make everything about race. But see, you've been doing these kinds of things for much longer. The whole time, that's how the white supremacy you're going to see right here. How they want to make it that everybody here was white. The people who helped build these pyramids were white. The ones that built all these great structures aligned to the sun and to the stars and to the moon and everything else and to the equinoxes, those were also called white people. But when we talk about race, all of a sudden we're racist. You see, like I say, you can't have it both ways. These books are damning, and these books and the things that you put in them they're a huge testimony against you. So let's get into it real quick. Christ in Ancient America by Milton R. Hunter. First one. Take a look at this picture right here. The skin of this Lacondan Indian boy is nearly white. He is a member of the El Cedro clan near Bonampak. So all of a sudden now, these people are white. So when they're talking about a white bearded god and white people, they are now including these Indians. Now, like I said, they've been doing these types of things, saying that these people are white. Okay? You think they were treated like white people? You think they have the same rights as so-called white people? Of course not. But see, when it's convenient, that's when they want to actually say, "Oh, they're white." Just like all of a sudden now, Cherokees. A lot of people, a lot of so-called white people, always want to say that they're Cherokees, right? That they were because they want to imply that they've always been here, and that's what they talk. That's what goes on in this book all the time. Pretty much that white people have always been in the Americas, and pretty much like when the Spaniards showed up here, that they encountered many white Indians. But that's okay. Like I said, that was because you had your time of being in control. You had your chance to, make your own narrative, and it would work as long as we were under the curses and we were drinking those dregs and we were drunk, but not anymore. I said just the things that I was seeing, the things that I was hearing. I said the Most High was just opening up so much understanding to me, and I come back and read these books after you see that pyramid in living color, and you're right there. And you see the people that claim to be the Mayans and how they're treated, and how it's like at the end, it's all about revelation, is it not? It's all about revealing. How many people do you think came up to me and were trying to reveal the truth? How many people were saying, you know what, you guys are the original Mayans? Yeah, I know what history says, but you guys were the ones that were already here. Your images are already etched in the stones here. You think he had any people saying that? Hell nah. I said they were very proud, thinking that, and still pushing the fact that they are the people, when there's so much evidence that says otherwise. Were they here? Maybe. I wasn't here back then. Were they people that were aligned with us? Could be. Were they people that did not want, that wanted their opportunity to be on top? Quite possibly. When the Spaniards came here, they made alliances with certain tribes. Were these the tribes they made alliances with to take down the original people that were here, that were in power? Possibly. So what you can understand is this: is that the Spaniards supposedly came here, burned all the records. So, and then later on they felt, oh, well, we need to get this information. So therefore, they're the ones who are now supposedly gathering information, and they're the ones in charge of interpreting the information for us to believe. Oh, well, I interviewed these natives, and this is what they told me. Yeah. Oh, you think I'm really going to believe anything? If you guys are telling me that this person right here is a so-called white person, if you can't even figure the fact that these people are brown. I said, if you can't even figure out basic colors, then how can I honestly, believe anything you're telling me about the history of the people that are here, when you have a vested interest and a vested agenda to keep that information from me? Because eventually I'm going to awaken. Eventually we are going to be awakened by our power. And all the things that you have been doing are going to come out once again, and are going to be a testimony against you to our power. So the Catholic Church, these priests, I said they have a vested interest in keeping us asleep, or keeping us disconnected from our power. These other nations who made covenants with the Spaniards also have a vested interest in keeping us asleep and keeping us disconnected from our heritage. So then you can say things like this: well, the skin of this Lacandan Indian boy is nearly white. He is a member of the El Cedro clan near Bonaparte. So and that helps to keep us, okay, well, we weren't from here. These people have always been here. We're from Africa. We're African American. So therefore we want to return to our homeland over there. And you see, this is how this all works. What they've done is they've switched the characteristics of the Edomites onto people with so-called dark and black skin. So all of a sudden now the attributes of the Edomites will fit someone like myself. And they want to, raise themselves up as someone who's godly and meek and humble and loving. All we got to do is look at history, and you can see that that is far from the case. Supposedly these so-called Europeans came here and wiped out the natives. How is that loving? How is that kind? They came here and they raped, robbed, murdered, and stole everything. How is that loving and kind? Loving your neighbor and being a light to the world. It's not. So therefore, the characteristics fit a group of people. So let's check this part out. Talking about Sahagun here at the bottom. It is apparent from Padre Sahagun's description that these white Indians retained many of the characteristics of their ancestors, the Nephites, who were throughout most of their history white and exceedingly fair and delightsome, being a superior, intelligent, industrious, moral, and God fearing people. So that's how they want to portray themselves, as how white people are supposedly have all these characteristics of being superior, intelligent, industrious, moral, and God fearing people. How is that doctrine of discovery fitting any of that? How is it pretty much that if they don't agree to your religion, that you can, they're less than human? How is that God fearing? How is that moral? They believe they're superior. I get that already, right? And intelligent, and we're stupid and we're idiots, right? I get that. That's what you guys have always been pushing. But check out what they say about so-called Lamanites, darker skinned brethren here. While they're darker skinned brethren, the Lamanites were an idle people. Oh, well, you're lazy, right? They didn't want to work. We want just handouts. That's what you guys love to say all the time, right? An idle people, full of mischief and subtlety, wild and ferocious, and a bloodthirsty people, full of idolatry and filthiness, delighting in wars and bloodshed. That's what you said about us. How many years has America actually experienced some type of peace compared to her existence? Research that. They say it's all about peace and love, but they're always at war with someone. They're always trying to go over and bring freedom to other people and take their resources. So you're trying to take the characteristics of the things that you've done and pretty much roll those over onto me. I haven't done any of these things. I said because I've had no power anyways to do any of these things. I have not been delighting in wars. I'm not a bloodthirsty person full of idolatry and filthiness. You see what I'm saying? But that's what you guys want to say. We're not idle people full of mischief. So don't sit there and act as if like all of a sudden, this is all something coming out of the blue. These are things that you've been pushing for years. This book was published in the early 1950s, 70 plus years. And these are the kinds of things that were written about so-called dark-skinned people. But now the Most High is switching everything. All of a sudden now color doesn't matter. We're being the racist. I'm like, oh, okay, man, you keep believing it. But just to show you that how can you trust a people to tell you the truth about religion when they can't even tell the difference between black and white? Look at this next one. Take a look at these photographs right here. Figures 97, 98, 99, 100. 97. Bearded man from Chimu culture, Peru. 98. Bearded man, Peru. 99. Bearded white man from Peru. I'm sorry, 99, that's a white man to you? So apparently maybe white must have a totally different meaning than what you're pushing today. White could also mean like spiritually pure. Not talking about skin color. Because that person is very plainly not white. Then figure 100. A bearded man, late Chimu period. So check these out. These four bearded men supply evidence which conforms to Indian traditions of a white and bearded race, which established the early culture at Tiwanaku and other Andean sites. I don't know exactly how that just happened because I don't see one picture of a white man here. So again, these four bearded men supply evidence which conforms to Indian traditions of a white and bearded race, which established the early culture at Tiwanaku, okay, and other Andean sites. So are you trying to say then pretty much that, and that's the thing, a white bearded God, not a white comma bearded God, but just a white bearded God, right? So it could have been just someone who's black skin with a white beard, which is exactly what you see here in figure 98 and you see in figure 99. So all of a sudden you're trying to say that these people are so-called white people who came and brought, knowledge and understanding and technology to these people when none of these people were so-called white, as you would say is white today. So if you're going to write in all these books about a white bearded God, and you're gonna say it's white skin and he's bearded, like Cesare Borgia. When in their own artwork here, they're showing you that it was a person with black skin, dark skin, with a white beard. It says the first three were modeled during the early Chimu period in the first half of the millennium AD or earlier, right? So this is how they were representing these people, these bearded men. So you're trying to tell me that none of these people that are so-called Mayans today know this information? Of course they do. So the fact that we can now, the Most High has given us this information, given us understanding. We're not listening to the Spaniards because still, even in Mexico, you can still see Spain is still running that place. You really think that the Catholic Church is just going to give that place up? All those resources? They might just tell you certain things, but who's the one making the decisions? Are they also part of the European crowd? Quite possibly. I mean, this is their blessing. So why would they be just giving their blessing to someone else when they have the power to continue with it? Maybe they won't do it right in your face. Maybe it's behind the scenes. But as you can see right here, like this is like basic. This is basic. Look at the color and look at what they're saying. You're seeing a bearded white man from 99. A bearded white man. It should just be a man, right? With a white beard, but they just change a couple of little things here and it makes a totally different understanding. But as you can tell, it's not going to work anymore. So this is a huge weekend. The stars tell the story. The planets tell the story. And we're moving into a time where Pluto is moving to Aquarius in the ninth house. And we will make some videos and we will go into that even more in depth. Change is here. If you want to believe and you've already made a covenant with the other nations and you can't break away from it and you want to believe that what you're looking at right here is a white man that's bearded, be my guest. But anyone with eyes to see can easily see that these people are not white, so-called white people with a beard. And people can twist it however they want. It doesn't even matter anymore because the only people that can get this in now at this point are people at the Most High's calling. We're not here to force it down your throat. If you don't want to see this, you don't want to have to contend with it, unsubscribe and keep it moving. Because we don't have the time anymore to, waste our time trying to explain things to you. Because if you cannot see the fact that these are so-called brothers right here with beards, brothers right here with white beards, then there's nothing really I can do for you. Because you would much rather believe a lie that takes all of this, mental gymnastics in order for you to be able to swallow the BS and the garbage that you're being fed. And that's your prerogative. But go ahead and explain to me how this is a so-called white bearded God, a white person with a beard. Show me anywhere how you can figure that out here. This is just the tip of the iceberg of what the Most High has been downloading to me. And you're going to be seeing many things coming out that, because we're moving into that time. This weekend is huge. We're moving into a new time period with Pluto going into Aquarius, into the ninth house, and all the things that means is going to be coming with that. We're coming into the eclipse, right, of America's here in April 8th, making that X marks the spot. So it's just an absolutely beautiful thing. And I thank the Most High for the opportunity to be able to go and experience these events, to see them with my own eyes, to see how the Most High guided me to a certain place, to be here at a place at a certain time, to be at that place in Chichen Itza by the El Castillo before this weekend that comes up where the switch is going to happen for the next 20 years, how we're going to be a much time of revelation and revealing. And I thank the Most High for that opportunity. And thank the Most High for giving me more downloads and more information that we will be bringing out. So just be on the lookout for more knowledge and more understanding. And like I said, if you want to believe that what those pictures were a white, so-called white person with a beard, be my guest. If you really can't figure this out by now, then there's nothing that we can do for you, because the Most High has chosen to keep you in a position that you're in. He's chosen to keep you ignorant because the Most High does not want everyone. All praise is Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement of earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Shalom.